Hey everybody, Christina Finseth here with my buddy Will Allred to do I think episode 7.
I think it's number 7.
Let's go with that. Yeah, number 7 of One Email, Two Takes. We kind of forgot and lost count at this point because we've done so many of these, it feels like. But anyway, if it's your first time joining us, just to give you a quick intro and I'll flip it over to Will here. I lead growth marketing for a company called Interseller, which was recently acquired by Greenhouse. Exciting news. And we're basically a prospecting and outreach platform for recruiters. That's a little bit about me. I'm also an advisor for Lavender, which is one of my favorite things to do.
And I'm one of the co-founders at Lavender. And so at Lavender, we see millions of emails per month. What we do is we help sellers write better emails faster. And so one of the fantastic things about what I get to do is share some of the data and insights behind what are driving more positive replies. And so here at One Email, Two Takes, what we do here is we take a email example and we rewrite it in 2 different styles so that you've got 2 examples to learn from. And so today, we've got a great example from Christina. If I can figure out how to share my screen.
If not, I got you.
All right, I might kick it to you to share your screen.
Oh, you disabled it for me.
Oh,
Yay.
I got it. Okay, I figured it out. Zoom changed their interface for a second. Cool. Okay, so we've got a great email here. Christina, you want to give it a read?
Yeah. So, just like Will, we get lots and lots of sales emails directed to us as well. So it's pretty easy to find inspiration for these videos nowadays. So this one, the subject line is Feed Your Marketing Insights, Interseller. Hi, Christina. I'm reaching out regarding the data aggregation campaign reporting processes at Interseller. Company, in its shortest form, puts all your marketing data in one place and saves any marketing team a ridiculous amount of time to help you make data-driven decisions with the right data. Would you be open to a quick 15-minute conversation Monday or Tuesday on how we can help streamline your marketing efforts? Thanks.
Ooh, so
many thoughts.
Yeah. So first thing that stuck out to me was I put it there in the title, which was the subject line really gave away what I was about to get into, right? And so as soon as I open this email, the first thing I would look at is that 15-minute conversation tag. And I would have mentally categorized this in the back of my head so quickly. That was my first impression of it. What about you, Christina?
Yeah, that was my first impression too. The subject line didn't make sense for me either. Interseller probably could have been left off. It was a little weird. Feed your marketing insights, Interseller. Feed your marketing insights at Interseller. I don't know. It felt like a weird word to omit there.
It's like they figured out that they need to keep it shorter in order to have more opens, but at the same time they lost the actual meaning behind it.
Yeah, it could have even been Interseller's marketing insights or something like that. But yeah, that was my first impression before opening it. And then my next impression was, dang, that's a long second sentence.
That's a really long second sentence. But also the first sentence, if one of the things we calculate at Lavender is we call it complexity. It's the reading level of an email. And a lot of folks point out that long words are a huge attributor to this. And so, the reading level of your writing is a huge detractor from your response rate. Just going from a 10th grade reading level down to a 5th grade can boost your response rate. I think the math on it is 31%, which is pretty wild. And it comes down to just reducing the number of syllables within that sentence. And so shortening your sentences. So that second paragraph, or just the second sentence, which is also a paragraph, it's like Australia is a continent, right? In a country, right? It's massive. But also that first sentence, you've got reaching, regarding, aggregation, campaign, reporting, processes, Interseller. Those are massive, just stacked next to each other. And so all of that together, like it's hard to actually like visually capture what it is this is trying to accomplish in a quick glance.
Yeah, it lost me in the first sentence when I received it. I saved these anyway, just because of, obviously
Yeah.
this and to refer back to them. But yeah, it kind of lost me there because although I do understand all of those words, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain
Feels
it.
heavy. Yeah, it
It feels
feels
heavy.
heavy.
Yeah.
But don't worry, it's in its shortest form and it'll save you a ridiculous amount of time.
Yes, those were two things I picked up on too. I was like, oh, a ridiculous amount of time. Like that could be quantified differently for different people, right? So
Yeah,
anyway,
for sure. All right, let's go into some rewrites.
let's
So
do it.
we can start with mine. First thing I did was I killed that subject line really quickly. That was the first thing. And so when I think about how to write a subject line, the thing I'm trying to do is match where the recipient is. So the inbox is essentially a to-do list. And so they're looking at names they recognize, threads they recognize, and there's kind of everything else. And so if I can make my subject line still represent what's within the email, but match those to-do list items, that's what I'm going to go for. And so the key reason behind that is I really want it to be like visual white noise. Yes, they see it, but they immediately go to the preview text, which would read, "Hi, Christina, I was checking out your recent Facebook ads." Now I know that they know that I wrote them an individualized message. And if you're not aware, Facebook ads are publicly displayed within the Facebook ads library. So I imagine you've built a routine building reports across that and other channels. I'm sure you've nailed your process, but it's fair to assume it would be helpful to have everything in one place. We've built that at company. Think it's worth a chat? Well, and what I'm trying to get at there is like, I'm sure you've got your thing figured out, right? I'm not trying to challenge and like tell you that you're wrong, but I'm sure it's helpful if it's all in one place, right? Like it's a very simple like notion of, here's the problem is you have to go across all these different places to get information. We've made it easier. Is that worth a conversation to you? And so if somebody's actually struggling with that, it seems like it would be a quick and easy thing to respond to.
Yeah, this feels so much lighter than the original email. It just flows well, but it's super simplified, but it still gets the same value prop and problem along, right? Like that's, and you also are showing that you did some research, right?
I saved the reader a ridiculous amount of time.
Yes. And with me having a crazy Monday morning,
Yep.
this is easier for me to breeze through and understand what's going on and then, make a decision, or maybe I save it for later and respond when I have some time if I'm interested. But yeah, you made it really easy on the reader for sure.
Cool. I appreciate that. All right, let's check out yours, because I think we took the same approach on like visible Facebook.
Yes, we totally did. We totally did. And we didn't do that on purpose, folks. Like,
I didn't see
just to let you know. Neither did I. This is just us, using what we know would be publicly available information for this. And it's also scalable and repeatable, right? If you wanted to, kind of segment your list here. We also took a really similar approach on the subject line. So
yep.
I also decided to scratch that subject line and just simplify it to marketing data. Intentionally all lower caps, just like, hey, this is marketing data, like really easy, low key, casual. I also
can I jump in with a point on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think one of the interesting things when it comes to subject line best practices is like you did all lowercase and you did 2 words. Best practices would say to do all uppercase, 2 to 3 words, etc. And one of the things we see in our data is actually subject lines are the most variable best practice team to team. And so I've talked to teams where it's 5 words. I've talked to teams where it's, lowercase with punctuation. So like all of these best practices, when it comes to like subject lines in particular, it's so important to test and continuously try to iterate.
I agree with you on that, because I've also had people who are dead set that this sentence of a
Yep.
subject line gets them the opens. And really that's what we're looking at with subjects, right? It's just purely opens. I care more about other stuff, but it's a good indicator, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, you got to keep testing this, but I went simplified because I like simplified, much like Will does. And I dropped the high, just Christina, saw a paid ad you recently ran on Facebook. And then I kind of called out what that paid ad was, which is testing your deliverability. Thought I'd reach out. Curious, how are you currently getting full visibility into ad data? Because in my head as a marketer, I'm going to every single ad platform or ad campaign manager, Facebook, LinkedIn, they're all very different to try to compile that into a spreadsheet. So for me, I'm like, oh, already associating that sentence or that question with pain. Like, oh, you don't even have to tell me it's painful. I just know because you asked me a triggering question, right? Company takes the pain out of tracking data from multiple sources, pulling in all the marketing analytics to your go-to tool and giving visibility to what's working and what's not. That's a longer sentence, but I did that. The way I like to structure if I'm trying to really make a point and I feel like I need longer space is I like to use hyphens versus like commas or trying to make it read. It at least chops it up enough that they can then kind of separate the two components of that sentence.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean to cut you off. I was gonna say what's also visually nice about it is it actually creates like a lot of visual space there. Whereas like a period to try to start a new sentence would actually have less.
And exactly. So that's kind of how I was going with it, more the visual appeal. And then I just left the sentence or the call to action open to exploring how we could do the same for Interseller. Cheers, the wrap, right? So just trying to get the conversation started there.
That's great. Yeah, I noticed like some similarities. We both pulled some kind of observation at the beginning. We both used short and simple subject line. We both simplified down the message. And then we also ditched that ask for time and went for an interest-based CTA. Really cool stuff. Good. Well, cool. If everyone enjoyed this, join us every other Monday. So what's the next Monday? Would be the
22nd at 1 p.m.
22nd, 1 p.m. We do office hours with Sales Hacker, which is pretty easy to find. If you follow us on social, we post pretty often and share links to join us. So hope to see you there. Otherwise, stay tuned for next week's One Email, Two Takes. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome.